This watch is a German watch. It's made and designed in Germany. EZA Watches is a watch company that was revived. So let's see what that's all about. I'm Francois, and it's time to watch. This vintage look and feel diver, as I said in my unboxing, and for those who missed it, I'll put a link up here. But what I'd indicated is that I'm kind of growing tired of these dive watches, but this one has a je ne sais quoi about it because of its vintage look and feel. So EZA Watches, I'll talk about their history, I'll talk about this watch and the dimensions, the specifications, and of course I'll put it on my wrist and I'll conclude this review. So if you like these types of reviews, don't hesitate, press that like button. It helps my channel more than you think. And of course I encourage you to subscribe and press that notification bell. You'll be notified every time I come out with new reviews. EZA Watches first started in 1921 with Hermann Becker. Basically, he created a watch, EZA Watches, because he said he wanted to be the one who was always eager to help, which is basically what EZA stands for. The watches were made first in Pforzheim, Germany, where there was 250 years of watchmaking history. So for him, it was a no-brainer to start a watch company at that location. And when the quartz crisis came upon him, he was forced to kind of suspend the operations. And these operations were taken back by Adrian Trampe, who in 2016 kind of created that rebirth of EZA Watches. He started with the Sealander, with the Air Fighter, and now with this 1972 vintage watch diver. This is a watch based on the original piece created in 1972 by Mr. Becker himself. However, Adrian wanted to add more modern components to this watch. And so, speaking of the components, let's dive right in to the specifications. As a dive watch, it's kind of a sizable watch at 40 millimeters of diameter. It has a lug-to-lug of 50 millimeters, and it has a lug width of 20 millimeters, which is manageable. And on top of it, this comes with an extra rubber strap. The watch has a height of 12 millimeters and is operated by this signed and screwed in crown. The movement inside is in a Swiss Solida SW200 that vibrates at 28,800 vibrations an hour, and it has a power reserve of approximately 41 hours. Covering all this beauty is a sapphire crystal, which is boxed, which basically reminds us of that vintage look and feel of the older watches. Another characteristic is that flat design on the casing right here, flat and not necessarily curved in. So this may be something that is not a good watch for everyone because it doesn't kind of hug the wrist as much. If we go back to the movement inside, it's a simple operation of a standard SW200 where you unscrew the crown. At that first position, you can wind it. You hear it very well. This is a Swiss movement. The second position, click out, and you can change the date. And the third position, another click out, and you hack the seconds, and of course, you change the date. Once you press everything back in and screw that back in, everything is moving again, and you're sure to have that peace of mind of that 200-meter water resistance. Another factor that brings this peace of mind is that screwed down case back for that 200-meter water resistance. You see that etching here of a diver, and you have the writing around here which indicates the serial number, the number of joules, the number of bars for the water resistance. The fact that it's made in Germany as well as that automatic watch indication. What I really like about the comfort of this case back here is the fact that it's really well rounded. So regardless of that SW movement, that SW200 movement, which is relatively thicker than the SW300 at 12 millimeters overall, is that you have that rounded feature, and you'll see it on my wrist is that it doesn't bring the watch so high, even if it has that slightly boxed crystal. Another modern component of this vintage look and feel watch is the quick release lug bars, so that you have a quick release strap that you can change with the included rubber strap on top of this genuine leather strap. This leather strap has contrasting stitching, which I feel goes well with the markings on the watch itself. So if we talk about the watch and the watch face, I mentioned here this is a ceramic insert on a 120 click bezel. And also you have applied markers which are silver. So in different lights, you can see different kind of reflections on them, as well as for the hands themselves, which are loomed. You also have that lollipop that is loomed, as well as the markers on the ceramic bezel right here. What I like particularly about this watch is the contrast. You have a very dark blue on the dial, and you have a very slight minute track on the outskirts of the dial itself, and there's kind of no rehot to talk about. If we look closer at the dial and the writing, at 12 o'clock you see EZA automatic, and at the 6 o'clock you see that 25 joules of that SW200 series, as well as the 20 atmosphere water resistance. Also at the 3 o'clock you see that obvious date window with that silver border. What I like about the date is, one, I feel that the date complication is the most useful complication on a watch, and this one here has a large enough window to really see the date. So there's the overview of the watch itself. Does it have flaws? Yes, of course it has flaws. It's not a perfect watch. It may be a larger watch for certain people at 50 millimeters of lug to lug, and that 40 millimeters. Some people will say, well, that play here on the bezel may be something that is aggravating, but yet again, also the fact that it's a kind of a polished watch through and through on the casing, on the case back, and on the bezel itself, and it may be kind of a smudge magnet. But those are kind of nitpicks in my mind. This is a really well-built watch with a nice movement. So let me put this on my wrist and we'll see what it looks like, and then I'll conclude this review. And hopefully you like these types of reviews, so don't forget, press that like button. It truly helps my channel. And of course, before I put this one on, I need to put this one, I need to take this one off. This one is as you can see right there, an Islander watch. This one is a more of a pilot watch, and this will be part of my upcoming review. So of course, I encourage you to subscribe and press that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I come out with that review. So let me put this one on my wrist. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist. So like I said, it's a sizable watch. I like larger watches, but it's not for everyone. But it's not that thick. As you can see, it kind of hides that, that curve under my wrist. And I like these types of larger watches that have great legibility. It has that nice vintage look and feel to it. And so I hope you like these types of watches and these types of reviews. And like I said, don't forget to press that like button if you do so. So this concludes my review of this EZA watch, and I hope to see you next time.